Students, today we will be discussing relative amount of liquid and vapor in an ideal binary solution. That is, we will discuss the lever rule. First, we will discuss the lever rule qualitatively. Then we will go for quantitative derivation of lever rule. Now, let us consider an ideal binary solution of two components, A and B. Now, the entire system, liquid and vapor, represented in a single diagram. So, at a particular temperature, the total pressure is plotted against the mole fraction of the components. Okay, here A is the pure A, where x equals to 1. This is equals to pure B, where xb equals to 1. Okay. Now, the component A is more volatile than component B. Therefore, the pressure of the component A, pure component A, Pa star, is greater than the pressure of the pure component B, that is the Pb star. Now, this red line, this is the upper curve, is called the liquidus curve. And the lower curve, this is the green one, is called the vaporous curve. We have already discussed this liquidus curve and vaporous curve in our earlier class. Now, the liquid is stable above this liquidus curve. Here liquid is stable. Okay. And vapor is stable below the vaporous curve. Okay. Now, liquid cannot be present alone below the liquidus curve. So, below this liquidus curve, liquid cannot be present alone. Similarly, above the vaporous curve, the vapor cannot be present in alone. Okay? So, the region in between the liquidus curve and the vaporous curve is the region which represents both liquid and vapor exist in equilibrium. So, here in this region, both liquid and vapor exist in equilibrium. Now, we will apply phase rule in this region. Phase rule in this region. So, we apply phase rule. Now, what is phase rule? Phase rule equals to F equals to C minus P plus 2. We know F is the degrees of freedom, number of degrees of freedom, C is the component, P is the number of phases, and 2 is for the pressure and temperature. So, here P equals to 2 because there are two phases. There are two phases, liquid and vapor, P equals to 2. Number of components is 2, that is A and B are two components, so this equals to C equals to 2. So, F equals to 2. This is a bivariant system. Now, since temperature is fixed, here temperature is fixed, one other variable, any one of P, that is the pressure, Xa and Ya, is sufficient to describe the system completely. Since the pressure is constant here and it is a bivariant system, so any other one, so any one of the P1, P, X1 and Y1 is sufficient to describe the system completely. Now, if the pressure is chosen to describe the two-phase system, then the interactions of the horizontal line drawn from the given point P with the liquidus and vaporous curve yield the values of Xa and Ya. So, if here the pressure be chosen to describe the two-phase system, temperature is already constant. Now, if the pressure is chosen, so if we for a particular pressure, that is P external, if we draw a horizontal line, okay. Now this line will intersect the liquidous curve here and the vaporous curve here. Okay, so this yields the values of XA and YA. What are XA and YA? This is the mole fraction of the component A in the liquid and vapor phase respectively. Okay. On the other hand, if XA be chosen as a describing variable, then the intersection of the vertical line from a given XA with the liquidous curve yields the value of P, and the horizontal line intersecting the vaporous curve gives the vapor composition YA. Okay. Now here we see, if XA is be chosen as the describing variable, that is XA is chosen as the describing variable, then the intersection of a line, of the vertical line, that is, if we draw a vertical line from XA, this will intersect the liquidous curve at L, okay, yields the value of pressure P. So let this be external pressure P. So this gives the value of pressure P. And the horizontal line intersecting the vapor curve gives the vapor composition YA. Now this is known as the tie line. This is known as the tie line. Okay. Now this is very important here, because now we will discuss the other points, the points inside this region. Now here we will get, you just think, for the point A, you just see, for the point A, the mole fraction of the constituent A in the liquid phase is given by the point L. Okay, this is not the capital XA. So for the point A, the mole fraction of the constituent A in the liquid phase is given by the point L, and that in the vapor phase is given by V, that is YA. So this gives, for the point A, this gives the composition of the vapor phase, and this gives the composition of the liquid phase for the A. Now any point A on the line LV, any point on this line LV represents the same composition of A in liquid and vapor phases respectively. So if the point is here, any point, if the point is here it will also represent XA for the liquid phase. Here it will also represent the YA for the vapor phase. So along the line LV, the vapor phase and the liquid phase has the same composition. However, there exists a difference. Exists difference in relative amounts of two phases from points to point. From point to point, there exists difference in relative amount of two phases. When A coincides with L, when this A coincides with L, we can say that the vapor phase just started forming with mole fraction YA, and when it coincides with the point V, we can say that the last drop of the liquid phase with mole fraction XA is going to be converted into vapor phase. Okay? Okay. Hence, as we move from L to V, more and more, liquid phase, if we go from L to B, more or more liquid phase is being converted to vapor phase. Okay? Keeping all the while the mole fraction of the two components, the mole fraction of the two phases equal to XA and YA respectively. Now, if we move from N to V, as we move more and more from L, more and more liquid will be converted to vapor, keeping all the while mole fractions of XA, mole fraction of the two phases equal to XA and YA respectively. So, thus the distance AL represents the amount of vapor formed. Similarly, AV represents the amount of liquid formed, because if we go from B to A, more and more liquid will be formed. Again, more and more liquid will be formed, keeping all the while mole fraction of the two phases equal to X and YA. Okay. So, taking this together, we may write distance AL is proportional to amount of vapor formed, and distance AV is proportional to amount of liquid formed. Okay. Hence we can write this is AL bar, upon AL there is bar, which means it is the length. So this is proportional to amount of vapor formed, and AV is proportional to amount of liquid formed. So this is the amount of vapor formed, this is the amount of liquid formed. Hence AL by AV is the amount of vapor formed by amount of liquid formed. So this is the Lever rule. This is known as Lever rule. So this is the qualitative derivation of Lever rule. Now we will go for quantitative derivation of Lever rule. Okay. Now, for a particular point A, let the mole fraction be XA. Now, what is XA? This mole fraction XA actually corresponding to a point A, which represents the mole fraction of the component A in the entire system. So actually this capital XA represents the mole fraction of the component A in the entire system consisting of liquid and vapor phase. So we have to consider both the liquid and vapor phase. So we have to consider the number of moles of both the constituents A and B, both in liquid and vapor phase. So what is the value of XA? Since it is the mole fraction of the entire system, so we have XA equals to number of moles of A in the liquid phase plus number of moles of A in the vapor phase divided by number of moles. This is the total number of moles. The number of moles of A in the liquid phase plus number of moles of A in the vapor phase plus number of moles of B in the liquid phase plus number of B in the vapor phase. So this is equation number 1. Now what is AL? What is AL? This AL equals to capital XA minus XA, small xa. So AL equals to capital XA minus small xa. So this is capital XA minus small xa. So capital XA minus, what is small xa? Small xa equals to Na liquid phase, number of moles of A in the liquid phase, number of moles of A in the liquid phase phase plus number of moles of B in the liquid phase. So this is the mole fraction of A in the liquid phase. Okay. So this is number equation 2. Similarly, what is AV? AV is equals to YA minus capital XA. YA minus capital XA. So this is equal to YA minus capital XA. Now what is YA? YA is the number of moles of A in the vapor phase divided by number of moles of A in vapor phase plus number of moles of B in vapor phase minus XA. So this is equation number 3. Now if we multiply equation 2 by NaL plus NBl, so the number of moles of A in the liquid phase plus number of moles of B in the liquid phase, and if we multiply this equation 3 by number of moles of A in vapor phase plus number of moles of B in vapor phase, then we have, you just multiply, so this becomes the left hand side. If you multiply this by NaL plus NBl, so you will get like this. So this equals to, you multiply this becomes like this. And similarly, if you multiply this by NaV plus NBV, you will get left hand side like this and the right hand side like this. Now if we subtract this equation 5 from equation 4, so the left hand side becomes, this is left hand side and this is the right hand side. Okay, this is the right hand side. Now we will make use of the equation 1. Okay, what is equation 1? There is NaL plus NaV. This equals to this multiplied by this. So if we multiply XA with this, then we will get NaL plus NaV. So you will see this equation, here the right hand side contains NaL plus NBl plus NaV plus NBV into XA minus NaL plus NaV. Now this equals to NaL plus NaV from equation number 1. Okay, NaL plus NaV. So these two cancels each other and this becomes equal to 0. So the right hand side of this becomes equals to 0. So you can write AL bar, which means for the, here also the length, by AV bar equals to Na vapor phase plus Nb vapor phase, number of moles of A in the vapor phase plus number of moles of B in vapor phase divided by number of moles of A in the liquid phase plus number of moles of B in the liquid phase. So this is the amount of vapor phase, rather. This is the amount of vapor phase. This is the amount of liquid phase. So this is the quantitative formulation of Lever rule. Okay? Thank you.